The Red vs. Blue universe is jam-packed with all sorts of different characters. Some you love, some you hate, and perhaps some you didn't even remember. That's why I'm here to give you the stories of these characters, just in case you want a little refresher about someone. Today we are going to be talking about one of the most pure of heart characters we know, North Dakota. As much as I'd love to refer to him by his actual name, as you'll come to see, we don't know the names of a lot of characters. So code names are just gonna have to work. North and his sister South are twins, of course meaning they were born at the same time. I don't really feel as though I needed to explain that, but I did. Throughout their life, the two twins would presumably have a very close relationship with one another. I mean, they had joined the UNSC to help fight in the Great War together. They work in tandem extremely well. It's not relevant to the scenes I'm showing, but it's likely because they could do stuff like this that the director had his eyes on them. And so eventually the director recruited both the twins. The two of them joined Project Freelancer under the presumption that they were just part of an experimental program that took the best of the best soldiers and made them better by giving them AI. This would all help the chances of winning the Great War by making them stronger, faster, and overall more capable. Unfortunately, that was only part of why these two were recruited. They were brought on because of their bond, because they are so close. And so the director wanted to experiment on what would happen if one of the siblings got an AI and the other didn't. We'll get back to those results later. So upon joining Project Freelancer, they are designated with their code names North and South Dakota. Keep in mind this video is about North and there will be a separate one about South, but the two often intertwine with each other so frequently that I can't just ignore the other for this video. So chances are when you watch South's video, you'll hear a lot of the same stuff, and or vice versa. Anyway, so the twins end up becoming some of Project Freelancer's best agents, working their way up the ranks and getting sent on some more classified missions. Mission 1. The two get tasked with stealing a data file from an unknown enemy which would later be revealed to be Charon Industries. The file is at a cryogenics research facility which is being protected by the insurrectionists' hired guns. While on the mission, South is capable of retrieving the file, however not without alerting the entire facility. Rest in peace, Coffee Man. North rushes in to fight by her side, completely decimating anything that gets in their way. Carolina inevitably joins the fray to assist their mission, but with all the going-ons, North notices a guard aiming a turret at an oblivious South. This prompts North to push his sister out of the way, taking the bullets himself, greatly injuring him, though not enough to leave a lasting impact moving forward. Carolina then pulls the both of them out of danger and onto a pelican where they attempt an escape. This leads the insurrectionists to use long swords to hunt them down. South ends up getting knocked out from all of the turbulence, and so North gets up from his seat, straps his sister down, and takes the only measure that'll not get everyone blown up by missiles. He gets onto the roof of the Pelican and uses his domed energy shield to block the missiles, protecting everyone from an untimely death. This action fortunately bought enough time for the Mother of Invention to come in and destroy the longswords. Everyone's brought on board and debriefed about the success of the mission. However, because of South's failure at keeping the stealth mission stealthy, North is moved above her in the program's rankings. Sometime later, North stops Wash to ask him about what his conversation with internals was about. North's worried about potential consequences he may face for using experiment in the field, but Wash pushes those worries to rest as his conversation had nothing to do with North. The two get interrupted by soldiers rushing to the training room to watch a new agent, and so they do the only logical thing: join in. North is seen alongside South, Wash, CT, and Carolina as they all observe Agent Tex as she goes against York, Wyoming, and Maine. Subsequently, after York's accident, they are all yelled at by the director. Mission 2. Thanks to the twins' prior successful mission, this leads to a new one being formed. They are all being sent on a mission to retrieve the Sarcophagus. Two teams are formed, Team A consisting of Carolina, Wash, York, and Maine, and Team B consisting of North, CT, and Wyoming. Team A's job is to find the sarcophagus itself, while Team B's job is to retrieve the passcode to unlock it. North is put in charge of Team B. The mission more or less goes as planned. Team A is capable of retrieving the sarcophagus, while Team B, on the other hand, does not succeed on their end. Wyoming ends up getting shot, while North and CT get pinned down by the police. This leads North instructing Team A to try and retrieve the passcode, while Team B deals with their problem. Everything in the end does wind up successful. The sarcophagus was retrieved, the passcode was acquired, and everyone made it out alive. At least on the side of Project Freelancer. It was not a good day to be part of the insurrection. When they return back to the Mother of Invention, York and North have a conversation about how things have changed since Tex arrived. York questions the morality of what they're doing. After killing a whole bunch of people and fighting off the police, you begin to question some things, and North can't confidently confirm that they are indeed the good guys.
We're the good guys, right?
Yeah, of course we are.
Yeah, you don't sound so sure of yourself.
No, I suppose I don't.
Mission 3. Project Freelancer's next objective is to track down the leader of the insurrection. North is seen alongside his sister South, Wash, CT, and Carolina. Unfortunately, the leader is not where they thought he was, making the whole thing a bust. After a bit of a space battle and a bomb, the Freelancers safely escape. Sometime after their return, North is determined by the director to be the best one to receive the AI fragment Theta. He's a very shy, mostly childlike personality that best suits North's more caring, fatherly nature. You gotta make sure that the AI is comfortable, after all. It's interesting to think that if South were higher on that leaderboard, would she have gotten Theta? Who knows? Anyway, so North and Theta are tasked with a training simulation to test their compatibility. Things go pretty well, overcoming some challenging obstacles, impressing both York and Wash, but leaving South bitter. The next time we see North is in the mess hall. He and York ask their AI to shut down for a little while they discuss the Alpha. No one knows what it is or why their AIs talk about him, and it makes those agents who have an AI curious. Mission 4. The hunt for the insurrection leader continues. All of the Freelancers are sent to Longshore shipyards where they believe him and a now rogue Freelancer Connecticut to be. An ensuing fight of course breaks out, and when North and his sister get pinned down, we get that awesome moment where he uses Theta and the bubble shield to trap the snipers, where one of them tries to shoot his way out, which doesn't end very well. He, along with several other Freelancers, are ordered to remain outside as lookouts as the rest look for CT. The mission winds up a failure as the leader gets away. Sometime after the mission, Carolina continues to train as York watches over her. During this time, North walks in unable to sleep because Theta can't sleep. If the AI is awake, then it's harder for the person carrying it to ignore. So North takes it upon himself to walk Theta around because it calmed him down. He recalls a similar reaction to when his father would drive South around when they were children to get her to fall asleep.
When we were kids, my dad would have to drive South around in the car to get her to fall asleep. It's kind of the same thing.
York notes this type of reaction is exactly why he was paired with Theta. The two also briefly talk about the AI and how they all seem anxious about something they don't know. North inevitably heads off to bed, telling York that he needs sleep as well. The next time we see North, he's in the locker room and he's amongst several other Freelancers listening to South's rant on Carolina getting too AI. Everything results in South storming off and North following suit to calm her down. He is later seen during Tex and Carolina's match along with York, Wash, Wyoming, and Maine. When the director comes in and shouts Allison's name, it causes all of the fragments to relapse, forcing all those who have an AI to suffer tremendous amounts of pain. Fortunately, it goes away very quickly as everyone recovers just fine, excluding Carolina. Days pass. Carolina still unconscious, and North, amongst several other Freelancers, continuously check up on her. Agent Tex ends up stopping by and having a conversation with North. The two are friendly enough with each other. She tells him how his sister is trying to get one of Carolina's AIs, much to North's detest. And Tex even tries to offer him advice, saying how he should keep an eye on his sister going forward, as she fears for the worse.
Piece of advice, one soldier to another, you watch her.
Much like with many conversations with North, the AIs get brought up again. Tex talks about how she believes her AI is too dangerous. North believes the incident with Carolina would stop implantations for a little bit, only for Tex to inform him that Wash is being prepped for his new AI. North really begins to question Project Freelancer here. He's already had his doubts in the past, not being able to confidently tell York that they're the good guys, and the scenario with the AI implantation only further raises suspicion for North. So Washington ends up getting his AI implanted, although very similar to Carolina, things don't go very well, resulting in Wash getting hospitalized. The director decides no more AI. He intends on getting rid of all of them and removing current ones from the Freelancers that have them. Tex at this moment has also gone rogue. She's learned of who she is, what the Alpha is, and she plans on liberating him. North and South are next to Wash when he wakes up, informing him of the new changes as well as Tex. South is quick to condemn her, but North defends her, having more faith in her. It is also believed at some point that Tex approached North asking for his assistance in saving the Alpha, similar to York. During Texas's assault, she gets confronted by South, who tries to kill her. North then comes in, saving Tex, allowing her to continue on her path as he faces his sister in battle. After all the smoke settles, Agent Maine goes rogue. Carolina and Tex go MIA, and in a deleted scene, North carries South out of the Mother of Invention. The two have this sweet moment amending whatever tear there was in their bond, saying how they've got each other's back.
Hey, pretty good with that missile pod.
Yeah, I'd be even better if you weren't using 2 sniper rifles, cheater.
Okay, don't get a big head. You're still my little sister. Come on, let's get out of here. Hey, I've got your back, always.
And I'm watching yours.
Despite North assisting Texas with her assault, the twins presumably both stay with Project Freelancer. South definitively enters the recovery team, although it was never confirmed if North did as well. It doesn't appear that he ever left the program, considering he was still with his sister, who was still working for Project Freelancer. Anyway, Agent Main, who now goes by the Meta, hunts any and all freelancers that have an AI so he can form the Alpha. He inevitably tracks down the twins because North still holds Theta. Fearing for her life, South wounds North so she could get away. This leads the Meta to be able to kill North himself and steal his AI along with his energy shield. Wash later confirms this, and North's body along with his armor were detonated, erasing all evidence of this event, as is procedure. North Dakota is one of the few characters you could really say never did anything wrong. He never made any enemies, and no one at Project Freelancer detested him. He and York were really good friends. He was concerned for Carolina in the hospital, same goes for Wash, and he and Tex didn't hold the slightest amount of animosity towards each other despite Tex being Tex. He was always kind, he always looked out for the betterment of his teammates, and in the end, it's what got him killed. Sure, Agent Main killed him, and sure, his sister put him in a position to be killed, but in the end, Project Freelancer tore that bond that he and his sister had away. The one person who raised the most red flags North could not look past because they were twins. Always paired their entire life, always trusting one another. So that was the history and story of North Dakota. If there's a character you'd like me to do, then be sure to let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.